So, the plastic mountain has certainly been hit heavily in the last few months. So I'm running out of things to paint. So I've got lots of things like command sets left. So I've got this one, which is the Prussian infantry command. Lots of figures on that sprue. 9 altogether, and I usually only use 6, so I can get quite a few units out of that. And I'm mixing them with the HaT Prussian infantry action figures. The problem is there's 6 different poses in these, which doesn't make a very good unit for me. So I've ordered another 3 boxes of these from 172.com site, so I should be getting those in the next few days. I think they're only about £5 each. You do get a lot of figures in there, so that should mean I'm going to get probably 4, maybe 5 units out of it, because what I want to do is do the guys firing, the guys holding the bayonets out. And the guys loading will be with the guys firing the guns as well. So let's hope those arrive soon, so I can add to this lot. But I'm going to get this batch painted first. There's 36 figures here altogether, and that'll form the basis of the units that I'll be doing. So while I'm waiting, I'll just start on these lot. Right, I'm going to take you through some of the poses, well, all of the poses that I'm doing at the moment, because this is the action set with the HaT Prussian line command set combined. So I just thought I'd go through the poses. I've seen other people do this before and say what. There's a good YouTube channel called the Plastic Soldier Review, actually, as opposed to the website Plastic Soldier Review. It's the YouTube channel, and he basically goes through Airfix boxes and 132 scale stuff, and talks about what he likes about each 172 scale pose that you get in the box, which I find fascinating. But that's the sort of thing I do find fascinating, because I'm a very sad man. But it is actually my hobby, and I like seeing what people think of the figures that we're painting, which in my case tend to be a lot of Airfix. But these are HaT, so let's get on with HaT. So I've got to say that my favourite poses, and bear in mind there's only so many you get in whichever scale it is, there's only so many poses they do, because they're doing things that soldiers would normally do, and in this case it's Napoleonics, so you would get lots of guys in this pose. And this is my favourite pose because it's got action, and I love to make units where we've got the guy, like this one, in the second rank, standing up, ready to fire, or in the process of firing. I like the pose that's the complement to this, where we've got the guy taking the knee. Oh, that is topical. Taking the knee, who would be in front of him. So like the scene at Rogue's Drift, various scenes in the Waterloo movie, where you've got 2 ranks, one kneeling, one standing. That's what I like about this pose. So I think it is my favourite pose of the standard poses. So we'll do that one. Now this one is probably my least favourite pose. The guy reloading, putting down the ramrod into the musket. And the reason why I don't like this pose is because it's never really done very well. I think it's a difficult pose to do in the moulding system that people have, but with this set, I've got to say I am very impressed with this. I think it's lovely, particularly the fact that you've got to stick on the knapsack and the bedroll, and then he's got a nice sabre there as well. And I love the detail of the blanket there with the folds in it. So this is without a doubt the best version of this pose that I've seen at this scale. I'm very impressed with it, and that's the reason why I'm talking about it now, because this is usually the worst one for me. Never really like doing these, and you'll not find many of them in my videos. Some of them I've had to do because they fit in with the unit, or because I've run out of figures, or I just force myself to do them. I don't enjoy doing them usually, but these ones, I've got to say to HaT, hats off HaT. Very well done. Do like it. Very impressed with this one. Very impressed indeed. Next one, you could see or say that this is the previous figure just raising a musket slightly. So I was thinking about doing 2 ranks of these, one with the guy in the first rank, him and the guy in the second rank. They could just about get away as a square, but if you're doing a square, you really need a guy kneeling down in front, don't you? And they don't come in this set, which is a bit of a shame, but I'm aware that they do these, so if I'm going to do a massive Prussian army, I may well go for those. But again, instead of waffling on, this is again a nice pose. Do like that one. Everything seems to be in proportion. Again, he's got a lovely sabre on there, nice little ammunition pack, and again the pleating on the bedroll. Very nice. This one, again, very nice pose. They're sort of walking slowly forward at slow pace. I think the hats on these are perfectly proportioned. I've obviously seen the Revels. I've done the Revel ones. I've done various other manufacturers of Prussian infantry, but I've got to say HaT do these extremely well. And if I'd known that when I first started doing Prussians, I wouldn't have bought anything else. But I suppose the point of my channel is, or one of the points of my channel is to do different manufacturers and just see how they come out, and you can make your own mind up. But if I was going to recommend a Prussian army from this era, then these are the ones I'd go for. I think they're lovely. You could do your entire army from HaT because they are very, very nice. Even got the little studs or buttons down the gaiters there, which are a great detail. Some do them, some don't. Most try to do them anyway. I love the detail on the ammunition cases. One thing I do have to do is, because these don't really fit on very well, the knapsacks aren't perfectly lined up on some of these figures, so I tend to fill them in with a little bit of gesso or something, plasticine, because plasticine is quite malleable when it's warm, and then gesso over that. So bear that in mind, that you might have to do that if you get these ones. They're not a perfect fit on all the poses. They are on some, but not all of them. This is one of the ones where it isn't a perfect pose, which is a shame. So you might have to do a bit of green stuff modelling, extra bit of gesso, thick paint, just to fill up that gap a bit. But yeah, that is a nice pose. That's the only problem with it, that join with the bedroll. Now there are another couple of poses in the action set, but I'm not doing them in this batch, so they can wait for the next video or the next series. I think this could be a Prussian playlist. The Prussian playlist. So this is moving on to the command set, and I do like this pose. He's sort of beckoning the troops on. And I think this is the sergeant figure again. You've got to be careful trying to line up the backpack. So, because of course what they've done is they've moulded the figures and just done a standard backpack to fit them all, and it doesn't always work. I like the fact he's got the bit on his cuffs there. I do like those. I do like doing those. It's just that extra detail. But yeah, I like this pose. Very nice. Moving on. It's quite awkward getting this one in because he's got such a long pole, and they're very bendy as well. So I'll have to work on that. I do like these. They're a bit awkward to do, fitting the hands in because they come in two parts. But they do work well. And you can't beat a standard bearer, can you? I mean, it just makes the unit with the standard, so you've got to have these. So there you go on him. You get a selection of arms for these, so, and also you can place them in any position that you want. So I've just got him sort of raised like that, but it could be lower down, or you could just use a different arm on these. But I do like the officer figures that come with these. Very good. And a different backpack, because he doesn't need a saber, does he? Because he's got a sword. It's even got the details of the straps on there as well, which you don't really see until you've put your undercoat on. But yeah, I do like these. And the turnbacks on the back. Love it. So I just thought I'd sneak this guy in as a comparison. These poses are unique ones, and they are always a joy to paint, because they're not standard. They're unique. So I do like doing these. He's nearly finished, and I've done a few of these before, but yeah. Very nice. And that's the difference basically between, you know, that one and that one. You know, standard pose, unusual pose. Which ones would you rather paint? But you can't really do a proper unit unless you do the standard poses like him. So there you go. I hope you're all watching Fraser's series at the moment. Fraser von Ketteringham. He's doing a great show on how he's painting his American Civil War. I think it's the Iron Brigade. I've been watching them all and fascinated as always by Fraser and his repartee and thought processes. He's doing a great job there, and I think it's nice that we give each other a good shout out. You know, we've all been doing this for, most of us, for 5 years on average. Gary, Wargaming with Gary, I've been watching recently, just to name another one. He's been doing some lovely stuff and talking about the First World War with his Frenchmen, which I found very enjoyable. And we should, you know, subscribe, you know, fellow YouTubers should subscribe to each other, which I'm sure we do. And if you know someone who you think other people would be interested in, then mention it. You know, Terry Crick gave me a mention today, which was lovely of him. I watch Terry's videos a lot as well, and he's doing something similar to me with when I did my last, which I haven't finished, my last Outpost stuff. He's putting up some American Civil War farmhouse, and I hope he does several videos on that, going through his processes, because remember I said a couple of weeks ago, let's get some content up there. This is me doing it again, and I was very pleased that other people also put up a lot of content. I mean, we do it anyway, but it's just a bit of a motivational rallying call, and got a good response. So that's it for this little segment. One thing I will say, if you're watching Fraser's one, you'll notice he goes for the black Halfords spray paint. and then does the uniform. Well, I do it another way around. So as by ways of contrast, I use a white undercoat and do the hands and face first. So there you go. We're both doing it different ways, but they both work. It's just another way of approaching it. So if you're watching my stuff, if you're watching his stuff, doesn't mean either of us are right, doesn't mean either of us are wrong. It's just how we like to do it, and there's more than one way to skin a cat. Take care.